We're here. We've made it to the series final.
Wow.
One episode.
Oh my god, my hands were sweating. I mean, I could be ill. To be fair, you've been coughing all day. It might be I've caught your illness.
I have.
My hands are sweating. I've got heat. I'm heated. My head is heated. It's expanded to. I can't talk properly, which is great for a podcast right now. But anyway, sorry. I'll let you do your introduction.
It's fine. So we are here for the series final, series 1, and we are faithful to the Traitors. And the time has come, Alex.
Yes.
This whole series we have been saying we're both faithful. Now here's the time for you to tell the truth. It's your last chance.
I was, from the beginning,
Right.
100% faithful.
Really?
Yeah, I was faithful.
Is your
What do you
fire
take me
green or
for?
red?
Amber. I could never make my mind up.
Okay.
No, of course, I would 100% want to be a faithful. 100% would I want to be a faithful on this series.
Okay.
A traitor looks like fun, but my goodness, Wilf made it look stressful.
He did.
And didn't. Oh, it's so. I cannot believe that round table. I
know.
And just.
We yeah, there's lots to talk about. I mean, just very quickly, I will say that I think we both kind of just wrote off Kieran when he left on episode 1. Weren't too fussed about him for the rest, but he completely changed the game.
What
tonight.
an absolute star! Honestly, what an
If it wasn't for
absolute
him,
star
I think
Kieran
we'd be
was.
having a different ending here.
Well, first of all, we'd be saying we knew there would be Wilf. We knew he'd win. We knew a traitor would get it. And second, I'm sorry. I feel so bad for being so dismissive of Kieran, as I was dismissive of Wilfred
and Hannah, and she turned around and she was playing a good game.
Let's be honest. Kieran played a blinder by the way he basically was like, I'm out. There's no point me continuing with this. So if I'm going down with this ship, I'm taking you with me, Wilfred. And
gave a little wink.
If it wasn't for Hannah, I genuinely believe that Wilfred would have still gotten away with it. Aaron was still on the tipsy side. Meryl didn't have a clue. Meryl, bless Meryl. I think tonight, if anything showed tonight, like when people said that Meryl didn't really have a mind of her own and that she kind of just followed the crowd, it really, no disrespect to Meryl, I love her to bits and I'm so glad she won a third of the money tonight, but my goodness, and to be fair, for entertainment value, like when she's on that walkie-talkie, you can't get her off. Like even Claudia was like trying to find the switch to switch it off today.
Not that she hasn't her own mind. I think it's more like she just trusted that group of people, didn't she?
She was very surprised, wasn't she?
Even when he said he was a traitor, she was still like, really? You sure, Wilfred?
I know. Oh, bless her. God,
anyway,
honestly,
we're skipping right to the end of the climax without even doing anything beforehand.
My mind is swimming. From tonight's. Honestly, I watch a lot of TV. Yes. And I genuinely would say that tonight's episode of The Traitors is one of the best television episodes of television I've watched in a long time.
And it kept you guessing right to the end, the last minute.
Everything was a twist and a turn.
Because we were so sure, I think both of us were so sure that a traitor would win because there was 2 of them.
Yeah.
And they thought there was only one traitor left, and we thought, well, no matter what happens, it's going to be.
And Wilfred had them all in the palm of his hand. They all believed him.
He got too greedy. If he was willing to work with Kieran and share it,
then he would have won.
They could have got rid of. They were going for Meryl, I think, weren't they?
Well, the plan was Meryl and then Aaron, and then end the game. That was the plan, because that was another thing which they didn't really announce until today's episode. If they got rid of a majority of the faithful, then they by default win the game. Which I didn't know.
But if they did go for Meryl and do that plan, then she would have still been faithful, and then they would have known there's still a traitor, I suppose. So one of them probably would have had to.
Well, they would have had to play it again. But then by that point, Hannah would have been automatically eliminated, I suppose. So that makes sense because then Wilfred and Kieran would have voted her out as well. So yeah, oh gosh.
I mean, we had our last breakfast. The breakfast was quite short and sweet.
It was.
They were surprised that Claudia came in happy, smiling. Aaron was very pleased with that. He didn't have to, get on a step stool and take down a picture for her this morning, did he?
He's a slave to old Claude.
And they had the biggest mission, I think. It was all going on. They were rewarded with a helicopter ride around the lock glass.
Yeah, well, you looked up because we live up in Bonnie, Scotland, and so you looked on the on the map, didn't you? On Google
3
Maps.
hours, 22 minutes away.
We'll see you all there tomorrow.
See you there, Claudia, for the final.
Nice little Christmas walk.
And they had to pick the strongest swimmers. That was Aaron and Hannah. They were in the freezing cold lock. I would not want to do that.
Oh, it looks so fun.
Cold.
It looked
amazing.
Freezing. I don't care. It looked amazing. Just imagine saying you jumped out of a helicopter, swam in a lock.
Claudia was cheering for you with a megaphone.
I mean, Claudia needed a megaphone to kind of like cheer for them, but Meryl didn't need that megaphone.
Towards the end of this series.
She had the megaphone, but not as an unnecessary thing.
I feel that Claudia just thought of herself as a contestant towards the end of the series. She was really getting involved in these challenges, wasn't she?
She did in the first one, remember, when they had to they rang the church bells to a tune, and then they had to find the object.
She was like giving them really obvious
It's your time! Just shouting at them as they were by. I think Claudia Winkleman, as much as she tries to be like this kind of dominatrix, mean kind of character, a bit like Anne Robinson, I don't think she could ever pull that role off. No. And it showed.
Just shows you how hard it is to keep that up for 2 weeks.
But she did. I can't think of anyone else who should host that show now. If they better not replace Claudia Winkleman.
No, it's like her
series
thing, her show.
Totally now. Her show, and it suits, and she plays along with it as well. Like if you notice on Twitter, she plays along with like the comments that people say, and so she enjoys it as well. And I think that really shows that she enjoyed filming the series as well. So I enjoyed being part of the series with her.
So good, right to the end.
I cannot believe
we didn't guess anything correctly, which is like really good. I like that.
Yes,
the fact that the faithful one, and at the end when it all came down to it, because like they had some chats on the way back from the mission. They won £20,000 in one mission, which was just ridiculous. Which that £20,000 really sort of put pound signs in everyone's eyes, I think.
101.
Yeah, that made everyone think like,
£50.
Okay, yeah, this isn't a bag worth £250 like they've been doing the past few weeks. It's 20,000. And then on the way home, they were in 2 separate cars. And then there was the Wilf, Meryl, Hannah car, and the Aaron and Kieran, and the 3 were just like, "Yep, let's go for Kieran then." Yep. And Wilf was pushing that because he wanted,
but he got greedy, as you
money
said.
himself, and they weren't being very sly. It was quite obvious that Wilf was planning to kill or get rid of Kieran, and they were playing like pool together or snooker, whatever it was. Which one was it they were playing?
I think snooker? They were playing pool on a snooker table because I noticed. That old game
sounds about right.
Because there was a lot of red and a lot of yellow balls on the snooker table. Because up until that point, every time they played on the table, it was pretty much just, shall we just knock a few balls about? And it was like, yeah, all right then. I mean, let's be honest.
The producers probably just said, "Could you just use some of these props, please?
Yeah,
we've rented a castle. Just don't. We can't have you drinking wine every shot."
But every time they did any sports in their house, like they played badminton, at one point just playing catch, like they were all useless at it.
Yeah.
Like
they all laughed at Meryl when she didn't catch the ball.
Yes, they did. Yeah, but then they forget when Aaron was playing badminton and he swung the racket and he missed the shuttlecock. You know, they're all pretty bad at the sports they're playing.
But that was when it was all unraveling, because Wilf was playing a really dangerous thing of he was telling Kieran they're sticking to their traitor plan, getting rid of Meryl. But then he'd like wander off into another room and be like, "Oh, ask Hannah who she's voting for. Just stay here on your own and I'll go over there." Wilf tottered off, said to Hannah, "Oh, he's thinking you. Let's all vote him out." Yeah. And then she walked in and she couldn't look him in the eye, could she? And she was like, "I don't know who I'm voting for," and then like turned away from him.
and she made the excuse of, "I'm just going to paint my nails."
Yeah. Every time Kieran walked into a room, someone went off and did something.
I really need a poo. See you later, Kieran. So it was obvious to Kieran what was happening.
He was working it out. I
kind of got it because I think there was a few conversations in this episode where they were all saying how close they became with one another, and it was a bit of a Judas moment, wasn't it?
I felt like I was close to all of them.
Same 5. Here. Those 5. Oh, I love all 5 of them. But they must have felt like you were backstabbing your best friend, even if you weren't. Even if you were like Hannah. Or Aaron, you know, you were faithful. You still felt like you were backstabbing a friend, even though you suspected, and they were quite right, that he was a traitor. Poor old Kieran, he never wanted to be a traitor. As he said at the top of the episode, he said, "I never wanted to be put in this position. I was playing a good game as a faithful, and I've been put in a position now I wish I wasn't put in." So,
and like becoming a traitor so late on was just... It's basically written that you're not going to win, I think. Like being one episode before the final... suddenly being a traitor, I don't know. I wonder how he feels because he kind of got a short straw on everything on this game because he missed like the first 3 episodes because he was murdered on the first second.
Well, no, he was banished, wasn't he? Because
banished.
He voted that he was going to be the least successful.
Yeah,
and Claudia was like, okay, bye
and
then.
Like, oh, okay, and then like and then he has to go into this group and try and form some sort of bond. And Amos kind of seemed like the more popular of the two, and then his mate, who he contact with, got murdered. And then he was starting to get in there and he had this little clique and he had this plan of these 5 going to the final together. And then he gets pulled in and you're either a traitor or a murderer. So he had to take this role that was really disadvantaged for him.
It's funny
because he had a really difficult game.
Kieran actually, as a faithful, along with Hannah, I'd argue,
played it really well.
A really good game. And so I think it is a shame that Kieran didn't actually end up winning a little bit of money from that.
Well, he made his mark though because he saw the knives in his back and his front and his all over him, and he thought, well, you know what? There's another traitor who I know is the traitor, and I think really he was still a faithful at heart. So when it came to it, he was like, actually, I could mess up Will here because I can say just vote me out, and he. You know, he tried to be subtle with his cryptic clues he was saying around the table. But it was pretty obvious that he was like, there's another traitor here. It's Will. All of you should watch out because I want honest people to get this money and I can't bring myself to lie at the amounts that Will is lying.
Well, the first thing he said was because he basically said, I don't want to do this discussion. I just want to get straight onto the vote. Even Claudia was surprised by this.
I know. She was like, we have to fill it out.
Yeah, Claudia was really surprised.
This is the series final.
Hannah and Aaron. You know, they're all round the table. And
Meryl was just looking at the studio.
Meryl was just looking at a fly by. No, that's unfair. They were all kind of like, no, hang on, we're meant to be having a chat. And he was like, no, you've made your decisions. Let's just go for it because I basically I want to get out so I can reveal the truth, the snake. And so he gave the name. He gave Will's name. And he for him. Yeah, and he said, I'm just returning the favor, mate. And as soon as he said that, Hannah was like, what? And Aaron was like, what?
Yeah, he was being really cryptic, was like, wasn't he?
What's for tea tonight? and
there's obviously like a rule, like a backstage rule of being on the voting. You're not allowed to say I'm a traitor, or you're not allowed to say that person is a traitor, I suppose. That must be like this unwritten rule, which is part of like the contract. So he was using these elaborate cryptic sentences.
They were just cryptic clues. He was directing.
But they were enough to get them on it.
He looked when he was up on the when you have to stand up and say whether you're a traitor or faithful and announce it. Yeah, and he looked at Hannah and then he looked at Will. I thought that was tremendous as well. The way he did that, it was just so good. It was like a film.
And Will
was like a film.
It was, and Will was like slowly breaking down, like thinking.
Shit.
I've just backstabbed everyone, all the traitors, all the faithfuls, all the people around this table, and now he has done the same to me. And he
got a taste of his own medicine.
He couldn't explain it either because they went for a break, didn't they? Because they had to do their bit with Claudia with the coins in front of them.
Oh yeah, they had to have a little chat with
Similar
Claudia.
To this podcast with Claudia, wasn't it? Two chairs.
The funny thing is that I feel like that originally the production was that bit when they're having that conversation in front of the coins was meant to be a much longer bit when they were having a full conversation about how would you spend the money, what would you use the money for. It was so short because there was just basically the organic voting and them choosing whether to continue the game was just far more interesting to watch, and I'm so pleased about it. This is the thing, you can orchestrate, we've talked about reality television, you can orchestrate all you like television shows, but sometimes the natural organicness of something is far outweighs the watchability of it, and that's what's made The Traitors such a fantastic series, because it's not been. Yes, they've been the game. There's the game, and so there's been a bit of a play and a bit of manipulation with that. But all in all, it's the humanness of the game, the way that human reaction, human nature is, and how group mentality, herd mentality is, which has made this such a fascinating show to watch.
Yeah, and it's funny because right at the beginning, Hannah was a real big herd mentality voter at the beginning for like the first few round tables. And then as it came to it, she was the one really who questioned Wilf, made a point to Meryl and Aaron and made them all just slightly guessed. And like when they were asking Will, like, well, why did Kieran say that? He tried to explain it, but then just kept sort of putting his hand in his head and thinking, I don't know, he was sabotaging me for a reason. And Aaron was like, well, why would he do that though? Because you're gonna, if you're not a traitor, why would he say it? Didn't make sense, and there was nothing Will could do.
He was panicking big time, and he made a mistake. This is probably Will's biggest mistake, other than the time a few days ago when he said, when he pretty much admitted he was a traitor in front of Hannah as well, but Hannah didn't pick it up this time because the focus was now on Will. They picked it up, so it goes to show again. It's like the focus needs to be on someone in order for them to pick up their small little tells. And this time, his tell was that he said to Hannah, he gave her an ultimatum. He said, if you vote for me, then I'll never speak to any of you again. And Hannah was like, That's not the Will that's played the game at this point. Yeah,
I think he knew, like, I am pretty much out of this.
He was desperate at this point. He was desperately looking at anything and anything to try to get him through.
Which is such a shame, because yesterday I was kind of thinking I want a traitor, and I was quite team Will and Whittle team traitor. But then when the stuff with Aaron came, and I thought, oh, you're backstabbing another traitor. Like, you know, you have £50,000 you could have shared, but no, he wanted the £100,050.
Greed. This is what happens when you become greedy.
That's what went wrong. So I towards the end, like in the middle half, I was thinking, that I kind of want these three faithfuls to win, because they're just nice guys, aren't they?
Just nice bunch of people.
Nice. Aaron just skips around happy all the time. He skipped to the helicopter.
He skipped to the helicopter. He skipped into the breakfast this morning. He was like, Aaron's such a sweet lad. He's young, isn't he? So he's kind of still very
full
green.
Of energy.
He's very green about the world. He does, he's still kind of like learning, about, and so that's why he's so emotional as well. Like everything's new to him. So everything like feels kind of like painful to him. And I can completely relate. Bless him. We loved Aaron. Aaron was an absolute star.
I loved Meryl.
Star. I loved Meryl, but I feel like
change.
Meryl kind of sailed her way to where she got.
She did, but
I did love her.
She was so funny. And Hannah, I didn't like her to begin with. I wasn't sure, because she was quite bolshy, wasn't she? She was quite aggressive around the first few round tables. Yeah. But I did slowly grow to actually thinking, actually, no, you deserve this. And she really sort of fought for that last bit and got Will voted out.
Were you surprised that it was Hannah and Aaron who decided that they wanted to continue the game? Meryl was giving up by this point.
Yeah, no. I mean, how weird is that? That's so cool when they went around the final and they were like, you have to throw things in the fire, changes colour. It's like, oh, God.
I don't know how they did that.
Because Meryl voted to end the game. Will voted to end the game, and Hannah was just staring at him the whole time. It was so funny, just staring at Will, not blinking. Like, I know you're.
She was doing exactly what I've been saying from the start. Look at people when you're round the round table, or in this situation, when you're round the fire pit. Look at them, because you can tell. You can instantly tell if people. And because Will, again, he looks so uncomfortable. He was shuffling.
I know he had reached his end of like.
He gave
if
up.
I just get through this green fire, I may just be able to cope. But I don't know if he would have just... How awkward would it have been if they ended the game and he was like, I'm a traitor?
Especially when he was also... At one point, he did stop himself, and I shouted at the TV, and I said, don't you say that, Will. At one point, he was about to say, I will swear on anyone's life. And I thought, don't say that, Will. That's a terrible thing to say.
I know, desperately
I don't believe in
the
fate,
bottom of the barrel, wasn't it?
Or religion or anything like that. But my goodness, I would never, not for a game, not especially on television.
£100,000, £150 though.
I suppose desperate times.
That £50 makes all the difference.
But that £50 could buy a nice bucket of KFC for Christmas, couldn't it? So there you go.
So it was Hannah and Aaron who both did the red flames.
Yes, Aaron was also not convinced by Will anymore.
And that losing that money, it makes you think. And I think Aaron's theory was, I'd rather vote you out even if you're faithful and not risk losing the money, kind of thing. And Meryl still looked confused. She was like, really? I still think Will's okay. And even right to the last second when they were voting, she was kind of like, should I vote for?
No, I thought Meryl. I genuinely thought she was going to vote for Aaron. When and
it's funny because Will voted for Aaron, and not Hannah, and that surprised Hannah for like a split second. And I think she thought he should have voted for me because I'm blaming him, but maybe Aaron is a traitor. And I thought for a split second, I think she thought I did this wrong.
And I think Will thought this is the one.
His last chance.
This is his last chance, and this is the last time he could maybe convince people. Because poor Aaron has been accused of being a traitor since the very first round
Thanks
table.
to Maddie.
Thanks to Maddie and John. And from the very first round table, he's been accused of being a
woman in EastEnders.
Thank you, Maddie. Maddie's entered the room, everyone. Hello, Maddie. He's been accused of being a traitor. I mean, we've said about Wilf's game, and it was a great game. He backstabbed one too many this time, though, and the wrong person as well, let's be honest with you.
Yes.
He chose the wrong person.
Well, he left Kieran with nothing to lose, so...
Exactly.
He messed up his own... Yeah, Wilf messed up his own game. He should have partnered up.
But we should say Aaron's game. I know he didn't have a game as such. He just defended himself.
Where his heart on his sleeve was his game.
That's it. His honesty, and it goes to show that you can if you're
make
honest
it in
and
this
you're a
world.
good person. Exactly, you can make it in this world, and he did make it.
Aaron's and the Merrills of this world are just sailing through with £33,333 33p.
Meryl's an enigma to me. I love Meryl to absolute pieces.
Yeah, she was too trustworthy.
But again,
Aaron was also too trustworthy, but when it came to that final bit of money, he was like,
Well, you say that, but Aaron did show a dark side from time to time when he told Maddie to shut up. He told Meryl to shut up tonight as well, and Hannah, and Will. He told them all to shut up. Because I think Aaron
wanted to sit on his leather chair and chill out, didn't he?
I think he's a bit like me. I can't think. Me and Aaron were kindred, you see. I can't think with noise around me, and Aaron needed to think.
And with Meryl there.
With Meryl there, but also on all the round tables, with all the noise around him, with all the kind of the noise, to him it was just merging into probably just sound, like nothing, and it must have been very difficult for him, especially because he has autism, doesn't he? He has
I think he had ADHD. I think so.
It must have been quite tricky for him to be in that kind of group situation.
Very tense situation as well.
And very intense. And so I think that them leaving the round table after, the accusation of Will, and him having a moment just to kind of sit down and think about what Kieran had talked about, I think that helped matters too. I think that's why Aaron also voted to continue the game. I love that twist so much. I love, like you said, the fire pit.
It was all outside, darkness, fire pits everywhere. Oh. Claudia Winkleman's fringe. It was just, it was all going on. But the final vote came. Wilf admitted he was a traitor, and he seemed quite relieved actually when it actually came to it. I think he
was relieved.
He was just like, thank God, because it must be quite horrible when you're lying to people like that. And they kept saying, well, we all know how much this money means to us, so why would any of us lie? And he was just there, like, having lied for like all that time. It must be quite difficult to keep that up. Like, you have to keep a sort of character up the whole time when you're a traitor, I suppose, don't you?
Yeah.
And obviously it was difficult because Kieran couldn't do it. Even for those few days, he struggled.
He was fidgeting, wasn't he? And he looked Hannah was right to say he looked nervous. Yes, there was the added difficulty of the fact that he knew Will was going to go against him. But it must not be
easy.
But like I said, at the top of this final episode, even, Kieran said, I didn't want to be a traitor. And you could tell that he lost a bit of spirit today.
Yeah.
Although I did think it was funny when they were doing the challenge and or the mission, and they were floating around in the dinghy. He was sat in front with his arms crossed, and he looked like Captain Birdseye.
Showing off.
Yeah, all we needed was a captain's.
I wanted a big wave to come and knock him off. Actually.
Oh no! I love Kieran.
Yeah.
I'm so pleased with Kieran. But yeah,
no,
throw him a fish finger.
He turned around the whole game today when he did that, because that was such like a. There's like those moments of the series, like when Tom said, Alex is my girlfriend, or the first time Wilf like backstabbed Alyssa, like the big moments. I think that with Kieran is like the big moment, because Will had played such a long game and done so much, and then that was like the turning of him, which just ended it all.
So what is that?
And it was like a selfless act as well, because he was a traitor, but he'd rather just I liked it. It was good. It was like the moment of the series.
Would you say that was your moment?
Not the moment, one of. I think the moment has to be when Alex and Tom.
The red breakfast.
Or when Wilfred voted Alyssa. Because that's so like, you didn't expect a traitor to vote a traitor. Or I didn't anyway. And I was just like, oh.
Yeah, because there was other moments attached
It's like,
to
that is ruthless.
Because not only did he do that, but then later on when they were then voting to say who they were going to murder, Amanda then said to Will, don't you do that to me. And then Will did do it to him. To her, sorry.
He did.
But my highlight has to be the red. That you knew you were watching something that was going to be appointment television, because this was appointment television.
When he said that Alex and him were girlfriend and boyfriend.
When Tom said that he was the boyfriend of Alex and
trying to save her,
which he didn't need to do, but we've had that discussion. Go back, listen to the episode. It just erupted everything. It caught this. That was like the big fallout of the group,
and that was the moment as well where you noticed online, like the show had become like a bit bigger than what everyone expected. I think that was the episode where everyone was like, "Oh, what's this?" and sort of taking notice and binging and lots of moments.
So we did a poll to say who we thought was going to win, whether it was going to be the Traitors or the Faithful.
Yeah, that was out yesterday after yesterday's podcast.
Yeah,
95% of the people voted that the Traitors would win. 5% voted that the Faithful would win.
Well, you're wrong.
And we were quite confident, weren't we?
I thought Will was going to win. I really did.
Yeah. So well done, editors, because they did that right up to the end.
Well made. Well done. Just quickly, are you surprised to see a show like this on BBC One? A general conversation. It's not a BBC One show, is it? But that's not a criticism. I'm glad that they've taken a risk with this.
I love it though, because it's like I loved The Circle when that was on, and they stupidly cancelled that too early. But
it can always come to the BBC.
Yeah, well, they've got Traitors now. BBC. Traitors has so much more though, because it has like the part of the Traitors is kind of like The Circle where you're a catfish, but like there's a bit more jeopardy to it, so it's much more fun to watch. And I keep seeing people say like, oh, it'd be good if you didn't know who the Traitors were till the end. And it's like, no, half the fun of this show to me is watching the Traitors and knowing.
Yeah, squirming.
And seeing them murder and discuss who they're going to murder and why. I think that's so fun.
The only thing I can think of is if they wanted to, which is it's a mad idea, but they could release 2 versions of the same episode. They could release like the broadcast episode where you know the traitor and then do an edit on iPlayer which doesn't reveal who the traitor is.
Yeah, but a lot of the talking to camera bits would be, you'd have to cut them all, wouldn't you?
That's true. It's double the work, isn't it? They don't want to do that.
Not going to do that.
But oh my goodness me! Oh my goodness,
we made it all the way through to the end. I mean, we did a questionnaire as well. The congeniality. Who you know of all the contestants,
the people's champion.
Yeah. What is it? Explain it.
Oh, sorry. I forgot. So basically, as you say, we stole the idea from Drag Race, essentially, where something called Miss or Mr. Congeniality in this case. So basically, it's the people's vote, who they would have voted
as their winner on
the Traitors.
Have you got an option before you read out the results?
Well, the options are every single contestant. No,
but you personally, I mean.
Oh, me?
Contestant.
Who I would want? Aaron, 100%.
Aaron's your man. Well, he won.
Well, he did win.
He did win. He gets double the prize.
Well, someone who didn't win then, who should have... I mean, it's a toss-up. I mean, I like Wilf. I like Kieran.
Oh, Kieran's come up all of a sudden.
Yeah, he's coming up roses, he is. In a weird way, I'd like to see Tom and Alex as well. Because they did, like I said, they had the moment of the series for me.
Yeah, Tom did not. When he let go, he sort of messed up the game a bit, didn't he? He couldn't keep his cool. Not Amanda. No, that's my one.
Oh no, I did love Amanda.
I loved Amanda.
Yes, Amanda was cool too. And Alyssa.
Yeah, and Maddie. She grew on me in the end because she was funny.
Aye, that's true.
Okay. Well, anyway, what are the results then? Who do people vote?
Well,
from our listeners.
Well, shall I do you the top 3?
No,
the top
just the winner, the Mr. or Mrs. Congeniality.
Okay. Well, I'd just like to finish my choice by saying that basically anyone but John. So my top 3, the top 3, as voted by you guys on our Twitter at Traitors Podcast, just in case you were wondering, is joint third place.
Oh, what did I just say? Just first place.
Oh no, I'm doing third now. Joint third place. God, Andrea and Theo.
Andrea. Oh yeah. Lovely Andrea, lovely Theo. Yep.
Joint second place.
Right.
Maddie and Aaron.
Oh.
Don't say who's Maddie. Maddie's the one who was in Casualty and didn't have a womb.
Right.
I was like a homeless woman in EastEnders.
Thank you.
That's actually poo.
And Andrea?
Well, we got it wrong, didn't we, again?
But you can blame...
I think you actually made a monumental fuck up.
You can blame the... you can blame the Twitter people for this. First place, and I think you'll be pleased with the outcome, was Amanda. Amanda was Miss Congeniality.
The gay community, saying I'm an icon.
And they do.
The gay community, saying I'm an icon.
Yeah, that's Amanda there, you can hear, yes, on her interview
thank you,
on
Amanda.
Virgin Radio.
A lot of people know, everyone's...
Gay icon.
Well, we are gay icons too. So gay icon, we've clashed. We've made the world collapse inside out. What people don't know is that everyone thinks that that's a soundboard, but actually, they just come into the room.
The gay community, saying I'm an icon.
She just comes in, says what she wants, and leaves again. We are the gay community.
That's who she's talking about there.
Fly that rainbow
good.
flag
I'm
high.
glad Amanda won because she was such... Yeah, I loved her so much.
Congratulations to her. She gets a crown, and it's got the Welsh dragon on the front of it.
Yeah.
Saying, don't fuck with me. I will crush you.
And we've got our congratulations to our winners, our faithfuls. They won in the end.
Oh, yes,
They
we should
pulled
congratulate
out
the faithfuls
Hannah,
as well.
Aaron, and Meryl. So
Well done to all
you go.
three of you.
Aaron can buy his mum a house.
I got that wrong, didn't I? I said Aaron's going to buy himself a house and that he's going to put his mum in the shed. So again, I apologise, Aaron, for that miscalculation.
Yes.
Did Meryl say what she was going to spend her money on?
No, there is an article somewhere.
A walkie-talkie.
Let me see if I can quickly find there's an article.
I'm going to
where
buy
they all
20
announced-
walkie-talkies and I'm going to speak to all 20 of them consecutively, one after the other. What about Hannah? Oh, well, we said Hannah would do a tour, but there was no tour dates given out, so it's probably unlikely that she's doing that. Well, while Ben's looking for the article, I'll just fill everyone in of how you can get in touch with us. We're still about, even after, this series has ended. But you can find us on Twitter at Traitors Podcast or our email, faithfultothetraitors@gmail.com.
Well, I mean, this is the last of the series.
Of the UK.
The UK edition. Are you going to throw something into a fire and say, if the fire's red, the podcast ends. If the fire's green, there's something more for us to do?
Or I could say, if the fire is peacock coloured, we might do it. Because obviously, shall I throw something into the fire then and see what it comes out as? Here we go.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a gurgling baby instead. And the gurgling baby spat out some green.
Oh, yes. So the podcast shall continue, hopefully.
Aye.
As we're the Traitors US...
Oh, no, green means stopped, didn't it? It doesn't matter. We are continuing.
As in winners of the show. So there's the US version coming out on the 12th of January. Hopefully we can get that and do the podcast for that.
Well, we believe if you're listening, obviously UK, we believe it's going to be shown on the Peacock network over here, or the streaming service. So we'll be watching that and be doing the podcast as it goes on. So so keep an eye out on that.
And if we do any other podcasts about any other stuff, we'll make sure you subscribe to this, because then we'll put out a thing if people want to follow our podcast journey of things we talk about. We'll put a thing on this feed, and then you can find. All right, Hannah. Okay, if she won the show, what would it mean to her? She'd be able to concentrate solely on her comedian career.
Thank you.
So tours.
Well, or podcast. She has got that podcast.
Oh yeah, ghost hunting, isn't she?
Poor Ben, not well.
I know. I don't know how I'm doing this. Kieran, obviously, my kids getting married is right up there. That's boring. Meryl, what's Meryl doing? Winning the show would actually be life-changing. The money would be amazing. I'm thinking of changing my career, and I'd love to do that. So the money would give me flexibility to explore my options. I love to travel too. We said she'd get a holiday, didn't we? Mm-hmm. See, we know these people.
Well, after 12 episodes, I'd hope so.
Wilfred, we know his vision of owning a gym, safe space for young people to come, and counselling and psychology degree so that I'm able to counsel young people through sports.
Boxing and dance.
So there you go. Aaron, what we know what he's doing. What would winning do? It would mean a lot to me, as well as my mum, because I'll be able to put a deposit down on a house for her.
Oh, well, that's
and
lovely.
he'd take the commission because he's an estate agent.
I
added that.
Yeah, we didn't think of that, did we? We didn't think of that.
So there you go. We've come to the end. We've done the full series from Claudia's first opening to Claudia's ending, shutting.
In the dark.
The castle's turned off and
Turned off.
yeah.
It's like the film
The flames
Poltergeist.
are off.
It's kind of folded into itself, and now there's just barren ground underneath with smoke coming out from it.
So there you
Yes.
go.
But
So I hope you've all enjoyed this venture into this new series, and we hope to continue on. because-
yes, as we said, we're hoping to do the Traitors US next year. And if, as Ben also said, follow us on Twitter at Traitors Podcast.
Yeah, and
or
subscribe to this
subscribe
the podcast so you
on
don't
your-
miss anything.
That's it, on your favourite podcast apps, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all those. Don't forget to give us 5 stars and give us a comment so more people can find us.
Yeah, stay to the end because we've got a montage in a minute to end the show on.
That's a surprise.
So
that's
don't
been
turn off the
ruined.
podcast now.
Not just yet. Because there's one more thing I was going to say. If anyone's got any ideas of any shows you'd like us to talk about, send them our way.
The Apprentice is coming up.
Maybe faithful to the traitors at gmail.com. So there we go. So lovely. It was lovely having you all listen to us and joining in. And thank you for all your comments and your emails throughout the series. It's been
Big
so
surprise
much fun.
that so many people were enjoying what we were doing.
I mean,
so,
it's honestly, we've been really pleasantly surprised by how you guys have been joining us and joining us for the ride and our conversations about everything and anything about the Traitors. So it's been really good fun.
Lovely.
Have a lovely Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, and keep your eyes open on this feed just in case some special things pop up. You never know what's going to come on the podcast. So there you go. So I hope you've enjoyed that. And this has been Faithful to the Traitors, the grand finale.
Every decision you make, every single one, has a consequence. So you two, you think you're going to lose. I am going to take you at your word. So I'm afraid it's goodbye.
But I think you actually made a monumental fuck up.
You're all wrong. I'm a faithful.
I am a faithful.
That was not my card. I'm a faithful.
Guys, straight up, Alex isn't a traitor. Straight up, she's my girlfriend.
Well, we got it wrong, didn't we, again?
Unfaithful.
Meryl, you just said you knew it, but you voted Tom. That's a bit dodgy, guys.
Oh my God, Maddie.
Sorry. I received the poison chalice. I am a traitor.
What is on the flag of Wales?
A dragon.
You throw me under the bus. Okay?
Oh, no,
That's what I
100%.
will be.
I am a faithful. Good night.
So there might not be a banishment tonight, but that doesn't mean everyone's got the night off. I'm about to give the traitors a super secret mission.
Tonight there will be no meeting in the turret. Instead, you must murder in plain sight. No. Amos, he thinks I'm a good judge of character.
Yeah.
He loves you, but
Yeah.
he's probing. We need
So
you
who wants
go.
to do the kiss of death?
This is £3,000. That was what was made on the mission today. You can now choose. You can take this and leave now, or continue to stay in the game. Before you leave us, please reveal, are you a faithful or a traitor?
I'm a faithful.
The gay community, saying I'm an icon.
Amanda, now please reveal, are you a faithful or are you a traitor?
I am a traitor, guys.
Oh my God.
Listen to me. Well, you're playing a blinder. You've come in here, right, to win the money.
Yeah.
I know you feel heartbroken, but you are smashing it well. Please write the name of your chosen faithful on this letter.
Fucking knew it. Hello, Will.
I've got an ultimatum for you.
Okay.
So you either join me tonight as a traitor, or I'll murder you tonight.
I feel like I should have left when there was £3,000. I am a faithful.
There will be a round table tomorrow. And after that, you will decide when the game ends. When you are confident that there are no remaining traitors, you just tell me, and the game ends.
Parting gift. Will.
I'm a traitor.
I'm a faithful.
Hannah, please reveal, are you a faithful or a traitor?
I am a faithful.
Thank you. And this is it. Finally.
Aaron.
Aaron, please reveal, are you a faithful or a traitor?
So I am A faithful.
You've done it! You have done it!